This mean-looking Trans Am was in storage for decades. Then it was brought to Nick's with a huge list of things to do. Now, it's time for a shakedown. Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International.
Hi, my name is Nick and welcome to my shop. Well, I got something special here today. I've got a 74 Trans Am that belongs to Amadeo. Yes, he had this 455 engine built somewhere else quite a few years ago. Then he's come here to put the engine on the dynamometer, and then of course we had to test it for him. It made way over 500 horsepower, and then he left it here. And then months and months later, he brought in the car for me to do the installation. So I didn't build the engine, so he brought in the car with a big list to install wheelwood brakes, install the engine, transmission, suspension, and whatever.
So after decades in storage and months at Nick's Garage, this classic Pontiac is almost ready to rise again, like the mythical bird for which it was named.
So my job here today is I want to take it for a drive. And of course I want to take it with my viewers. This is a 455 1974 Trans Am, which doesn't have the Screaming Eagle on it. You know, he had it painted, I don't know how many years ago. He hasn't driven it for many, many years. So I'm going to take it for a drive. I've not driven it yet. I want to make sure the suspension, the steering, the brakes work well. After all, we've done quite a few things on it. Let me just open the hood and let me show you. We had the power brake booster master cylinder installed. We had the engine installed, transmission, and of course, everything else. Yes, there is a lot of chrome. Of course, you guys can see there's a lot of chrome going on. This is the way he bought the car. If you guys have checked any other earlier videos, there was a lot of chrome underneath the car, differential, leaf springs, control arms, you name it. We also had a customized exhaust system installed. No, there was a lot of work involved. And then you know what? It is all done and it works beautiful. We had the lights to fix, we had the wipers to get going, we had the handbrakes to install. There was a lot of custom work. We had frame connectors installed and so many things. We had also an aluminum radiator installed, a lot of few chrome pieces, of course. You know, there's a lot of detail that was done on this car. We had to machine the pulleys and the harmonic balancer to make it line up with the belts. We had to do some work on the aluminum radiator. Of course, the air cleaner, we had to get a small air cleaner to fit through the scoop because I guess this is a temporary fix. Custom-made valve covers. Then we had to put an ignition system on it. We had to replace the booster to make sure they could fit the valve cover because the valve cover was sitting the original power brake booster, which is much larger. So we got that done. We had to do some front end work on it, suspension, exhaust, and so on and so forth. If you guys would take a look here, you can see the front bars are chrome, the rat support is chrome, upper control arms are chrome, alternators chrome, and many, many other items underneath the car. Even the hinges are chrome. If you guys take a look, even the hinges are chrome. If you were to chrome these pieces today, it would cost a fortune. But this was done many, many years ago that the person that sold the car to Amadeo, he had all that chrome done then. Today to do that, it would cost a fortune. And also Amadeo bought a set of custom-made wheels, the same design as Pontiac made him. They're much larger, it's got new tires on it, and it's got an old paint job and it still looks good. After all, it's been sitting, I believe, for 20 years or so. It is a 4-speed car, and it should be very desirable to drive. He doesn't have any decals on it yet. I don't know if he's got any plans for the decals to install, or the Screamy Chicken, or the Eagle, or whatever you guys call it. But anyways, in the meantime, it looks good the way it is. But anyways, I'm just anxious to take it for a drive with you guys. What do you say? You want to join me for a ride? And I just wanted to go into a little bit of details about something else. A lot of you guys, if you're wondering what this is an automatic valve body that we're taking a picture of that came out of Eugene's Charger 500. If you want to get one of this, check out our gear on Nick's Garage Gear. You guys can go on that side and check out what you want. There's a lot of big selection there. Okay, so let's hop in for a ride. Here we go. I'm gonna start her up, let her warm up a bit. See that big puff of smoke in the back? Okay, let's warm it up a bit. Here we go. I'm just gonna let it warm up for a while before I push it. And I don't want to kick it hard because I did not build this engine. And I don't want to risk it, you know, and I just want to warm it up, drive it, and just push it a little bit. And I remember, oh man, there's a lot of dust in this car. I remember, oh, what happened there? You know, it rides pretty smooth, let me tell you. Wow. Wow. I think it needs to be tuned up. That's funny. Oh, that's why we're taking it for a drive, to make sure it runs good. Here, let me just see if it backfires or so. Okay, I'm trying to warm it up to see if it needs any tuning on the carburetor. It's a brand new carburetor. I've never done it before, so I'm trying it out. I want to warm it up very well and see how it goes. It stalled on me before on the corner, so let me put a few more miles on it, see how it goes. Running very rich. I used to have a 72 Trans Am back in 1975, the year before I worked for a GM dealership, Pontiac Buick GMC. I built my 455 engine, my first one, and that was my unlucky engine. I built that, first time I built a Pontiac engine back in 1975 was a 455 Pontiac motor, and within a couple of months later I spun a bearing. I wasn't lucky with that one, and a year later I sold the car. But anyways, it was one thing learning from another engine, you know. I used to do a few Mopars. Then I said, you know what? Let me try a Pontiac. But the Pontiac let me down. But now, you know, I've done a few Pontiacs. Now, of course, after years later, you learn a bit more. And then within a year later, I started working for Pontiac. So then, of course, you got the knowledge how to build engines. So now, I'll build a Pontiac anytime you wish. But that first one I built wasn't lucky. But anyways, it was all gold. It was all good. It's a learning process. Let me see, I'm gonna gun it now. I wanna see if it backfires. I'll just gun it in front of my shop and we'll see how it goes. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so it needs a little tuning here. We're gonna backfire once in a while from the air cleaner. So anyways, you know, that's the reason why I take it for a ride. But in the meantime, let me enjoy my beautiful day here with this Trans Am. So you can see it's not running perfect, it's running rich. It's got a couple of backfires, and that is the reason why we take it for a drive. So I see what it needs. I'm gonna have to check on the timing, maybe lean it out a bit because I see it's running very rich, and then take it out for another ride. But in the meantime, I just wanted to take it out for a drive to see how it goes. Like I said earlier, it's the first time I'm taking it for a drive. I wanted to try it out before I deliver it to my client. Even though I did not build this engine, I gotta tune it anyways. George, I got some smoke coming out of the dash. Let me get the ratchet, just in case. Let me get the ratchet.
This was a very hot afternoon at Nick's, and when the car was pushed a little and warmed up, some smoke or vapor was caught on camera coming out of the defroster vents on the dash. Well, take a look underneath the dash. I don't see anything burning. I saw some smoke coming out of the defrost. But as quickly as the vapor appears, it's gone again.
Yeah, you never know. You know, that's why I brought the ratchet in. You know, you want to disconnect the battery in case it's an electrical fire. You never know. And what's going on underneath the dash, I took a quick look. I don't see anything. I'm not gonna take it any further. I just wanna make sure I don't see any more smoke coming from the fog in the front. I'm gonna bring it into the shop, take a look at it tomorrow morning, and this is the reason why we take the cars for a drive. Not do we look at tuning the engine or anything like that, check the brakes, check the steering. There's everything else that comes with it. So let me just put it back in the shop, and we'll take it there from tomorrow morning. I will disconnect the battery, just in case. Wow, there we go. You know, I feel safe for now that I disconnected the battery, so tomorrow morning, I'm gonna take a good look underneath the dash of what's going on. See, that's what happens when you take a first drive, you find all your problems on your first drive. This is what I go through testing cars for people. So before I deliver them, I gotta look at everything.
So this test drive has ended up raising another question for Nick to answer, another problem for him to solve. But Nick knows it's all part of the job when you're restoring and rebuilding cars manufactured half a century ago.
And here we are a few days later. I've road tested the Trans Am, and just when I was about to bring it to the shop, I noticed some steam, condensation, smoke, I don't know, from defrost. But anyways, what I did is I brought it in and disconnected the battery, and I went through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure, like underneath the dash, there was no fire, or maybe the coolant leak from the heater box. I don't know, but just to make sure, I went through it all. I didn't see anything, and of course, 2 hours before the video, we had the car washed, and maybe some water got into the heater box, condensation, I'm not sure. And then again, it was a very, very hot day when we did a video on this car. But in this case, I'm waiting on a speedometer cable to come in, so I'm gonna have to remove the clutch to put the cable in. I'm gonna go through it again to make sure that when the customer gets the car back, that there's no fire or anything else coming out of the heater box. And this is why we road test our cars. You know, we just road test it just for the engine. You know, for brakes, steering, or for anything, electricals, or braking, suspension, anything. So this is the reason why we test our cars. Yes, we might push them a bit to the limits, but after all, that's when cars break down, and this is what you have to do. And of course, if they work, they're fine, they're ready for delivery. And there you have it. Thanks for watching us here on Nick's Garage. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content, and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.